We're live.
We are not, well, as Elvis would say, I've appeared dead before, but just, anyway, this is one of them things. I'm gonna tell you. Welcome everybody, and we have another little story episode now to tell. Now, once again, I've got my wife and my son.
Wife and your son.
And
enjoy
this is my wife. I mean, wait a minute, man, they switched on me.
That happened to somebody on stage or doing a talk.
Yeah, we tried to get Joey, but he's going to be in some here.
Yeah,
so he had a few things to do today. So,
but anyway, we're gonna get around to several little things here. Starting out first, is all the stories being told and all, and they're true. Some of them are true to a point, and then some of them are and I guess we all add to it, but not to the point to where it's just not fact anymore. It's all made up. And one in particular I know was made up. It was by a certain party that Elvis hit somebody who was Charlie. And
glad you brought that up.
That was a true story to a point of where the person telling it was not even there. Mm-hmm. And I think this person knows who I'm talking about. But anyway,
the facts were all different.
Yeah, the facts were different, and stuff like this. And this person will know who I'm talking about. But anyway, be factual and don't add something to it that was not in it. It's not.
Or put you when you're
when
not.
You wasn't.
And,
Anyway, so on. Another one is about Vernon's and his little prison sentence. He got jail for. The fact was that it was actually laid off on the other two guys. Now, one of them guys happened to be my father. And I think I know the story better than
anybody
that, especially these go out and, the research, Elvis researchers and all that. Right. And to get the damn facts, straight, because it was not at all like it had been put out. A lot of it was true, but the biggest majority of it wasn't. And they, of course, it was sensationalized. And again, I'll get more into that detail later. But anyway, there was another one. Once again, was told. And this person told it like they were there. And it didn't happen anything like what they said, And I think we covered that where Elvis got the scar over his eye and all that. So we've handled that one. But we jump around to different things. We were talking earlier about his guns. And Elvis was, he was fascinated with guns, loved them. In fact, I can remember one that he had. It was called the Over and Under. And it was, best I can remember, it was one just like Omar Bradley, the general Omar Bradley used to carry. And it was a beautiful gun. And Elvis always carried a gun on him. In fact, one time, I know we was riding motorcycles, and he had 45, which he carried. Also had was jade handles? No, it wasn't jade handles. It was turquoise handles. Handles. And anyway, he had that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just. Go ahead.
And so he had to.
What? They had him like here,
yeah,
in his boot.
But he was loaded for bear, I can tell you. Well, he had to use the restroom. So we stopped at this little service station, and he gets out, and goes in, and we're all right here waiting. And in a minute, we heard some loud noise. Boom! Boom! And we was all,
Are you okay?
are you okay? Everybody? Well, we pretty well knew. He come out and he was turning in a god dog and all that. Well, when he went in there, his damn gun fell out and hit the floor. Well, I mean, anything. It could have actually went off. He said, well, I'm lucky it didn't blow my, off. So,
That sounds
Just like him.
but he had all different types of guns and loved them.
He had some pretty ones.
And he did. He had some beautiful guns.
And he always kept one on his nightstand.
Yes, always, yeah.
Laying on his nightstand. Because he would joke when we would talk. If he would always joke if somebody said something and or would start say, no, Elvis, that one. He'd go, "Toop." And we'd go, okay,
You're right.
Maybe you are right.
That's where
You're not only the boss, but you're right.
That's the guy with the gun.
But no, he liked guns and all that, and had a lot of them. They give a lot of guns away.
Mr. Rutherford at the Memphis State, was it not Memphis State that he used to security for us, that he took and bought the shotgun for? We went downtown and he bought a shotgun and took it to Mr. Rutherford because he would wait for us when we would go play racquetball. Mr. Rutherford was always there to security. Was he security?
Yeah, he was security for
and Elvis
club.
Went by and bought him that gun, and before we went and took it to him.
Yeah, I know.
He was real.
Well,
nice.
he gave a lot of guys. I know one of my favorite. Well, that's what I was going to say. Well, two. He gave you the
Derringers.
And then one of my favorites that he give Daddy, because back in that time, Magnum Force and stuff. It wasn't a 44, but it looked. It
was a 357
Magnum, and I thought that was.
And we still have one that he gave us too.
Yes,
Billy keeps it because it's a automatic or semi-automatic. Nice, but we don't really have it. It's packed away in gun heaven. So don't come after my guns.
Come on after them.
Come on.
As long as it's legal.
Right. No, well, one of the things I was thinking of too, and I thought we just kind of hit it because I was asked a question. Well, actually, a couple times, but one it had been just a few days ago. A guy had asked me, as a family, not just for videos and stuff, but do we ever sit around and maybe think or a story, remember a story, or ever just talk about Elvis? And like what I was telling him is pretty much when we're all together. If I'm wrong, I mean, I won't say all the time, but 99.5% of the time, in our just being together as a family, something always comes up, and we always talk about Elvis. I mean, there's always, I mean, think about it. Every time, we're up here.
Well, that's so much of
it's most of our life,
Right.
That's.
Right. So I kind of hope that answered your question. But yes, we do. I mean, and even like I said, just
we used to.
And he's a pretty good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Actually, we was having breakfast not too, a couple hours ago. We're actually up at Mom and Dad's. We're at their place. Stayed the weekend, and we talk not for the videos or nothing, but we just got on conversations talking about Elvis last night, and then today at breakfast we was talking, about different. So yeah, all the time. I mean, and
you never run out of.
I've had a lot.
We don't run around and talk about Elvis all the time, but
But it's funny because we compare things that happen, and we'd go, oh, he would think Elvis would really like this.
Yeah, and when you really think about it, we don't know what the heck Elvis would have liked. It gets right down to it.
No, only Elvis knows.
Elvis would know that.
But
you think.
But we knew what he liked then.
Yeah. And real quick, you can kind of touch on it. I was asked.
Oh, I was going to tell something. I forgot it.
Oh.
Well, this one you can tell
you
me.
You got to catch us quick because our thought.
And you can just kind of touch on how, but I had the question asked too a while back, and I thought it'd be good to answer of how Elvis met Mike McGregor.
Oh yeah.
And pretty much the same way you'd meet anybody.
No.
Hello, how are you?
Shook hands with him.
What the hell do you want?
Well, I think what
Get
they're more
your
asking
shit out.
is where they actually met, if somebody introduced, or
You know, that's when Elvis started into our Western stage.
Yeah. Yeah, we did go through a lot of
We
stages.
went through a lot of stages, but he decided we were going to have. I think Priscilla started that because she liked the horse. You know, she wanted a horse, and so he decided he did too. And so he actually bought everybody a horse before we moved from Graceland to the ranch with them because.
That was my drink, my ice.
We rode a lot, rode up and down, and then it got so crowded. Are y'all gonna shut up while I tell this?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
I'll go ahead and let you
No,
tell
I
it.
can't. There's a Hertz truck just pulled up in our drive.
A package.
All
It's a
right.
package, and you know what? You know who it's from.
Yes, I do.
Probably. All right, we'll let them.
Excuse me, folks.
Yeah, we'll let them skip out. It's probably something from.
No, but he bought horses for every one of us, and we rode them up and down in front of Graceland and all, and then he got the idea to bulldoze the little house up there that Billy and his family had.
She's
had lived
fine.
in.
That's
Yeah,
just our little
she was
dog.
talking. And so they bulldozed the house down to make more room, but he decided he wanted a ranch, so to get into the real Western thing, so. That's how the Circle G came in. So before we moved, though, to the Circle G, he decided to buy all of us Western wear. And we went to this little store, Western store that was, I'm thinking it was somewhere off Rains Road, or anyway, it was on the corner of Rains and something else. And Mike McGregor worked there. And Mike McGregor was a good friend, and that's where Elvis met him at that store. And he liked Mike so well that he convinced Mike to come to work for him.
That's
so
great.
Mike did. He came and he moved his wife and little son, Billy, and down to
Barbara.
And Barbara was his wife. Moved them to the ranch, and then when he sold the ranch, he moved the trailer that he had gotten from Mike to Graceland, and that was the one that was across that. And Mike lived there for years. Mike lived there when we moved there, and. Okay, Mike lived there when we lived there, and then later, when did Mike leave? What year?
70
on up.
70.
We moved there at the
late 75 or 70, early 76.
Yeah.
76.
And after Mike moved out, it was like 75 or 76. After Mike moved out from there, he had his own trailer there that Aunt Nash and Earl lived in. And then he put the double wide out there for us, which was our trailer. And when Mike moved out,
the Henleys moved.
In about 75 or 76.
Tommy, Tish, and Donna and Deborah.
Yeah. They moved out to Graceland after Mike moved about that time, about what, 75, 76?
Yeah, that was right.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly, but that's
then they lived in the trailer that Mike lived in. So that's, just... And then I think after we moved from Graceland, we left.
We had our own little three.
We had our little three-trailer.
We did. We had our own trailer park at Graceland. It was actually called Graceland Trailer Park. We were trailer trash.
Yeah, but we were high class trailer trash on Elvis's property.
Yes.
Redneck trailer.
Redneck trailer.
Let me tell you, I'm going to be honest. That's probably one.
And I'm still trailer trash.
That is one of the greatest. Trailer parks I ever
I'm proud to be
from
Graceland.
Yeah. It come with a swimming pool, a racquetball court, a full mansion with pool table, pinball machines. I mean,
and Elvis.
And Elvis. What more
what
could a kid want? But no, I appreciate Mama you answering that because Daddy jumped up and had to run out on us to get the package. But I had been asked that, and when it come to me, I'm like, I don't even know how how.
Yeah, that's how he met Mike, and then Mike was with him for years and years.
That's
Mike made a lot of his jewelry. Barbara, and they made. I think didn't he make some of his leather, a leather costume or something, or not? Maybe it was not a costume, just an outfit. But Barbara sewed too, and
Mike was good at all that stuff.
Mike was great at.
He made us
turquoise jewelry.
Yeah,
and
little stuff.
He made a set that he gave Elvis that or Elvis bought from him that
and then
Elvis gave it to me.
I remember.
Yeah.
The turquoise.
The turquoise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope that answered most of y'all's questions. Daddy, you have anything else, or?
No, I don't have nothing else.
Okay. Well, what he was talking about earlier, I want to get it straight so we know.
The
But
stories.
The stories you was talking about earlier, if I'm correct,
Charlie,
you're going to actually, in some future videos.
Yes, I'm going to correct these stories.
Okay.
because
So
that's
y'all
not
got-
fair to Charlie.
No,
Yes.
I mean, those incidents, some of the things happened,
Right.
but the people that was told was there was not the people that were there, or some of them were. Elvis was.
well, like I say, some of them are factual, but there's so much added to
Yes,
it.
It's
change
a
that.
it's a thing like it's the story
Right.
is there,
Well,
but the facts are not right.
look, it's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, we were there, and when I saw that, it just really irritated me to death.
Well, it does, and not to.
Well,
You know,
no,
on certain ones we won't get into it till then, but on certain ones it does. Just like with Paul and stuff, you know,
it does.
family and stuff. You would feel the same way. You really want it told and
Accurate.
I guess the story straight, because it may not mean nothing to some people, but when it comes to family, y'all
And
know how
close
we are,
friends,
and it
and
means
close
something,
friends,
right?
you know?
And it means something to us. Well, yeah.
You know, and
Well, you said it,
Charlie was like
but
family to us.
Elvis's group at one time were all like
Yeah,
family.
but let
you
me
know?
just say this.
We were.
Let me just say this. Elvis and everything about Elvis is history. And if you don't get it right, if it's not told right, then it goes on and on and on, and it's just not true. I
Right.
mean, it's know.
Well, and no,
the
that's just
thing
like a
about
story.
Elvis-
If y'all tell, you tell, like Daddy told earlier, the way he heard it from Lamar and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to tell a story, I mean,
tell it right.
Daddy could have very well sat there and popped out and put himself in that story when he wasn't there, but he
About
didn't.
him going to get
Right.
the
And everything he's ever been asked, if somebody asked him, and not saying we're perfect, but I'm just saying,
No. But the
y'all
thing
know
about it
us.
is,
We want to
Oh
tell
Lord, it's hard
to be
humble when you're perfect.
But the thing about it is,
Oh, Matt.
there's enough stories and people have enough of their own to not make up other things.
Well,
You know.
with that, y'all,
And
we're
let me just say one other thing. Everybody whose name is Smith and Presley does not mean that they were there and they were kin to
Right,
Elvis. Just
right.
I'm just saying.
But with that, hey, we got a important phone call, I guess. Dogs are barking, phones are ringing. So with that, we're going to say, hey, we always live Elvis.